The Modology Motorsports Podcast is hosted by Podcast Garden, the complete solution for podcasting. We use Podcast Garden to host and distribute this show to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and more. If you've ever thought about creating your own podcast, you need to check out Podcast Garden. You'll be surprised how fast and easy it is to get started. Just go to podcastgarden.com and check out their free and paid podcast hosting services. Welcome to the Modology Motorsports Podcast, Season 1, Episode 12. I'm Blake.
And I'm Marcus.
Marcus, we did it, buddy. We made it a whole year. The first year is over.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to go as well as it has, but it's blown away, really, with it so far.
Yeah, I was, we set that first goal for ourselves of, 100 subs for the year.
Yep. And
we made it well over that, and we got a lot more views and subs and watch time than I thought we did, or I thought we would. So I've been pretty happy with this year.
Yeah, no, I'm ecstatic with how it's gone so far. I'm just sorry I haven't managed to get as much content as I wanted to out. Well, hardly any in my case. But to be honest, with life goals as it is at the moment, some things can get in the way. I'm quite happy with what's happened so far.
Right. Well, we'll get into some more of the YouTube stuff a little later on towards the end of the episode, but I guess we should talk about a lot of nothing that I've done to the cars since the last episode. We even stretched this episode out until the middle of December, and I still didn't manage to get much done, but it got cold, and it's rained, and it's just been really just miserable outside in Georgia. I did change the oil in the Focus.
Yes.
Which I'm kind of embarrassed to say this because I just put up a thing in the Facebook group showing, reminding the wife that she's had the car for 4 years now. And here's a secret between me and you and the podcast people. That's the first time the oil has ever been changed in that car.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your oil filter must have been clogged to fuck.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. It smelled terrible. The oil smelled like gasoline. It had been in there so long.
Not great.
But my wife had made this deal. If we got her a new car, which, it wasn't brand new, but, new car to her, that she was going to help take care of it and, get the oil changed and keep it washed and all that stuff. So I told her, if you ever buy the oil and the filter, I'll change it for you. So 4 years go by, and then I finally decide, we should probably change the oil in that. It's been, 3 summers, 4 winters. Yeah, it's time to change the oil in that car.
Yeah, it sounds like it was about time by the looks of it. Mind you, though, I don't think you've got a candle to what I've got to tell the guys in a little bit.
Yeah, I took it to work. I was going to just do it there because I could pull it in the building, and it was warm. We had the heat on. So get out of the car, and one of those things that was going to take, 15 minutes to do. I spent the majority of time just waiting for all the old oil to drip out of it. But go to put the new filter on, and I can't get the filter back on it. And I'm like, well, this is stupid. This should be a lot easier than this. And I keep messing with it, and there's oil like running down my arms, into my armpit, and I'm like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. And my father-in-law was sitting there watching me. He's like, are you sure you got the right filter? And I was like, yeah. And I pulled it up online, and the numbers matched on it. And he said, well, do you want me to try? And I said, yeah, I guess I'm doing, if you can fuck this up somehow, I guess I'm fucking it up. So he got under it, and he had the same problem. He couldn't get the filter back on. And I was like, do you think we'll have to put that old filter back on there? I'd hate to, but, it was on there, so maybe it'll go back on. Well, the shaft that the old filter screws onto, on that car, it isn't exactly horizontal. It's like just slightly at an angle. So we were trying to screw it back on straight, and we couldn't get the filter started. So we checked that piece, and it's not loose or anything. It's not like, I don't think it's been hit underneath because the oil filter never leaked. But you have to hold it at just a little angle, and it's screwed right back on. So that 15-minute oil change turned into like a 45-minute oil change, and like took up my whole lunch break. But by God, the oil's changed in the Focus now.
Dear God, it's done now. Oh dear. No, I know that feeling. You sit there, it's the first time you've done an oil change on that specific vehicle or something like that, and it just turns into an absolute fucking diabolical mess.
Yeah, I was expecting something. I mean, she had a Honda Accord a little bit older than the body style that I've got, and it kind of went the same way of not getting an oil change for a while. It didn't go as long, but we had to finally change her because the oil filter got a hole in it, and it was like spraying oil out of it. So we had to change it in that car. Yeah.
Would it rust out?
I think so.
Shit.
I think it got scratched, and some of the paint was gone, and the metal like casing started rusting on it. But you could crank the car, and the oil would just spray out of the oil filter.
Yeah, that sounds safe.
Yeah, she was pulling in. I guess she was pulling in the yard when it did it, because she was like, I smell oil burning real bad on the car. I didn't smell it till I got home, and went out there, and it was just a puddle under the car, and I was like, we'll start it real quick. And as soon as she did, I could see it spraying out, and I was like, cut it off. That's the I see it. That's fine. But and then that filter wouldn't come off. We ended up having to go get one of those filter wrenches to be able to get a grip on it, to get it off, because the casing was like trying to like twist.
Oh.
Yeah, so we had to like kind of squash the casing to be able to get a grip on it, to turn it, to get it to break loose.
I mean, I've shoved a screwdriver through one before to use it to sort of break it open to get it off before, but
yeah,
can't say I've ever needed to squash one.
Yeah, it's like this metal like jaw almost that fits around the filter, and then you hook like this little rubber strap to the handle piece.
Yeah.
And as you turn, it like bends into the filter housing, and it'll take and twist it loose.
Wow.
That's for ones that are super stuck.
Yeah. No, I've got one that's like a metal band that goes all the way around the filter, and then you sort of have a sort of like a little gear on it, and you twist it, and then it pulls the band back. And as you pull the band back, it just sort of crushes them into the oil filter to make it sort of go round. But I don't think I've ever used it.
They work pretty good.
Yeah.
But we've had nothing but, as soon as the cold weather like really set in here, the rain came back. And my wife decided she wanted to park the Focus in the backyard. She was off for a couple days, so it sat there. Well, it rained 3 days. And you have to back up like a little hill to get into the back alley to be able to drive out to the road.
Yeah.
Well, she was having a real tough time, and now the yard's all screwed up again. This isn't the first time it's been stuck, but so I'm thinking about. I looked at pricing for like concrete, to like pour a concrete pad outside, and maybe pour one the size of that canopy that I've got.
Yeah.
That way I can put the canopy over the concrete pad and be able to have a solid place to work on the cars, and I'm not laying in the dirt. And then I started doing, it'd be like 10 by 12 pretty much. So I started pricing like bags of, what's it called, Quickcrete?
Yeah.
That you go and buy the like 50 or 60 pound bags, and you mix it in a wheelbarrow. And I looked at that, and then I looked at the pricing of just paying for a truckload of concrete to have like a cement mixer come in, just swing that arm out and just pour it where I want it, and just have them drive off, and I'll level it out. And that's almost cheaper. I at least think it's going to be, because I mean, I don't have a truck. I'm going to have to put like 2 or 3 bags of concrete at a time in the Toyota or the Focus or one of those cars, versus having it come in a truck already mixed and poured right where I want it. So I'm thinking about going that route, like as soon as it starts to warm up in the springtime.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. If I've got enough money at that point, and I'm able to come over, I'll give you a hand, and we'll level it together.
We'll go out there and smooth some concrete.
Yeah. Go for a working man's holiday.
There you go. And then the last little bit I got, I was at the flea market kind of looking around, and they had some ramps, like the drive-up ramps for $5. And I picked those up, and now I can get under the cars without having to use the scissor jacks that came with it, like you'd use to change the wheel.
Yeah.
That's what I'd been using to get under the car. Just too lazy to go spend $40 on a floor jack. So I got the ramps for $5, and to be able to get like under her car to change the shift solenoids and be able to get under the cars to change the oil a little more regular. You know, I couldn't pass that up for $5.
No, $5. I mean, that's a steal.
Yeah, they're still in good shape. They're not rusted, so I think I did all right.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
But that, even after a month and a half since the last podcast, that is it. That is all I've managed to do. So what about you, Marcus?
Well, it's been an up and down month for me over in Modology UK. As you knew, I sent you a message on, I think it was like last Monday or something like that, and I said that the van had broken again, so right. I've been driving to work, and I pulled up to a like turning, and I started to pull away, and as I put it into second gear to start like fully decently pulling away, it just dropped second gear, and it felt like it had just completely gone, and I was like, oh no. So I pulled it over to the side of the road and stuck it in first gear and found that it still worked, and I was like, right, I'm not coming out of any gears now. I'm literally leaving it in that, because I didn't know whether or not it was the clutch or whether or not it was, something. So I was like, right. So I turned it around in first gear and drove it. What would have been like a 5 mile, 5-minute drive back home was like 15 minutes driving back home in first gear in my van, with the hazard lights on and making sure that people could pass me at the, good intervals and stuff like that. So I was trying to be as good as I could at rush hour in the morning on a Monday. Man. It was like I was pissed, absolutely pissed. I mean, it's not even been 3 months since I had the cylinder head done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took it over to there's like a transmission specialist that's like no more than a 15-minute drive away from my house, and I rang them up. And they said, yeah. So where do you live? And I said, told them where I lived. And they were like, oh, well, I'll tell you what, we know your dad. We've worked on a couple of his gearboxes before for the racing course. So it was like, yeah, we'll pick up your van for free and take it there. So they flatbedded it from my house to their workshop, and they worked on it. And I think they turned the gearbox around in about 24 hours.
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, they worked on it in the car. It turned out that it was the shifted gate, and the selector forks. Sorry, it was the selector forks, and that had pretty much like bent out the way, and it meant that it would only really go into first and third gear. So they fixed all of that, and that cost me roughly about 500 quid, which sucks because, I could have done with that extra 500 quid, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, and then it's something else wrong with the van again.
Yeah, so, I mean, as it stands at the moment, we've had enough of the van. It's cost us a lot of money. Admittedly, now we've sort of reconditioned the engine, reconditioned the gearbox, it's got new brakes all the way around, new tires all the way around over the last sort of 6 months or so, and we're just done with it. We're just waiting for the next thing to break on it, to be honest. So we're going to be getting rid of that. So that's going up for sale. Hopefully we'll get some decent money for it, and we're looking at a 4x4 or something like that at the moment, which can tow our caravan and also tow the Mini when I'm going to race meets and stuff like that.
Well, there you go.
We'll see how that goes. It'll be nice because, I mean, where we tow the caravan and all the rest of it, a lot of the time it's on grass. So a lot of the time it's raining as well, as is England. Always raining here. Permanently grey skies. and hopefully, with a bit of luck, we'll get a 4x4, and we'll actually be able to tow our caravan out of a field for once, instead of having like the local farmer on hand to drag everyone out one by one with his tractor. Um, so that's the first part of my fun times with this month. I also managed to get a lot of work done on the Mini with one of my friends. He did a lot of work with me, and I'm really out and thankful for him. To be honest, one of my other friends was supposed to be coming as well, but unfortunately, he ended up being on holiday, which sucked a bit. Which means we didn't get as much done as I'd wanted to, because, well, you know, three hands are better than two most of the time. Or three sets of hands, sorry. So we stripped the front off of the Mini, which I sent you a photo of, which you're really jealous about, because I can take the whole front end off of my Mini without actually ripping anything apart. It's literally just unbolt the whole thing off.
Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes. That's so not fair, because my like core support is welded to the frame, and yours just unbolts. That's not fair.
Yeah, well, now, unfortunately, the way I'm looking at it, the way that I want to set the front end of the car up, I'll probably end up having to make my own front core support so that it mounts the radiator and all the rest of it on it nicely, which can be taken apart in like 5 minutes at the track side if I need it to. Hopefully I won't need to, but I'm thinking ahead of myself just in case.
There you go.
But we're sliding off topic. So we took the whole front end off, and in doing so, we obviously had to take the radiator off. Now, it looks, when we took the radiator off, the fluid that came out of that was like thick brown sludge.
Oh no!
It was disgusting. I wish I'd taken photos of it, to be honest, but it was just god awful. It made me feel a little bit sick. I felt like retching a little bit. But yeah, it looks like the previous owner or whoever had been driving this last, whatever, I don't know, they had just put plain old tap water in, and that's it. So the whole entire internal parts of the engine, all the journals are rusted to fuck.
No.
So we flushed it all out, and we've put a few chemicals through it just to get it all done, dusted, and all this brown crap was flying out of the bottom of it whilst we stuffed the hose on one end of it and like proper sort of threw it through and all the rest of it, and it was disgusting, the amount of crap that came out of that. But so at least then at that point, you know, we flushed it. It's hopefully not going to have any issues. So unfortunately, the horror show didn't end there. We went then on to doing the oil change on the motor, and it looks like it had not been changed in a long, long time. And, you know, over here, a lot of garages and stuff like that will do like a full service. And it looks like whenever they'd taken it to have a service, it had never had the oil filter changed. Because, you know,
still got the filter on from Mini.
Yeah, it's the original fucking filter. So I pulled it off, and I was like, dude, look at this. And as we pulled it out of the housing, you could see this filter was like, had slowly been sucking itself into itself, so it was collapsing with all of the crud and grime that had been sort of accumulating on that filter over how many years it had been in there. Oh my god, it was absolutely sickening, like really, really bad. In fact, I think I sent you photos of that as well, didn't I?
Yeah, we'll include that too in the show notes.
Yeah, I got a lot of photos on there, and it was disgusting. I mean, thankfully, by the looks of it, the oil had been changed, you know, enough that it hasn't broken down. You know, it smelled a little bit like petrol, and it was a little bit thin, but you know, when we dropped all the oil out, you know, it wasn't sort of like in two pieces, you know, oil thick sludge and then whatever's left on top, which I've seen in some cars before. But it was bad. And then we went on to well, before we'd done that, we'd already gone to take off the wheels and stuff like that on the front because we'd got the car up on all fours just so that we could easily get to everything. And I when I jacked up the front end of the car, I heard a little clunk noise, and I was like, "What the hell's that?" So I kicked the driver's side wheel, and that was fine. And then I kicked the passenger side wheel, and it looks like the wheel bearing has collapsed on it.
All right, my favorite.
So, yep. Yeah, I should have had you over here, man. You could have just changed the wheel bearing out in 5 minutes flat.
I'm a pro.
You're a wheel bearing king.
That's right.
But yeah, I just had enough at that point. It was just like, really, I had to do a fucking I had to do a fucking wheel bearing as well, and it was just like, why do I bother? So yeah, I got a wheel bearing to get done on this thing now. So yeah, it was pretty bad though. It was wobbling. I think if the brakes hadn't been changed by myself, I think they were the only thing that were really holding the disc in place correctly.
Oh wow!
And when you were moving the wheel, even the universal joint off the back of it was moving with the wheel bearing.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was not good at all.
That had to be some of what was wrong with the Focus too. Like if you go back to like the Dashcam 1 or Dashcam 2 videos, you can tell when we're in the Focus because you can hear it, just all the noise from the wheel bearings. I mean, it's just a steady, like just wobbling sound. It get worse the faster you go.
Mm. Yeah. So to be fair, I mean, at least we've caught it. So, I mean, the last thing I'd want to do is be going around a tight right-hand turn and the wheel let loose and then the whole entire fucking car just nosedives into the fucking pavement. I'll be like, why? It'd be a great first video for Modology Motorsports in the UK for me taking the Mini out for its first test drive on the track and it just exploding into a fireball as it rolls all over the floor. Oh, God. Yeah. I'll make sure I put it in my will that any camera footage gets sent directly to you.
All right. There you go.
You can see my explosive demise on YouTube. I wonder how many hits that get.
A lot. All of them.
All of the hits. But yeah. On top of that, then we decided to pull the spark plugs. Because I was like, right, well, if the oil is absolutely gone, then the spark plugs are probably either on their way out or way past it anyway. So we pulled the spark plugs, and by the look of it, they've been arcing off the side of them onto the sidewall. There was like little splinters of like carbon, as you know, off the side of the pins off to the side, and it was awful. It was awful. It's just like, why? What have they been doing? But it looks like the spark plugs have been changed out for like NGK ones, but like it must have been a good like 40,000 miles ago or something like that, and it's been running rich, and it was bad. I mean, they were black. They were really black, but they weren't wet black. They were just black and really carbon sooted up. And it, to be honest, the actual the middle pin, it actually looks like it's almost completely disappeared. So it's fairly close to the end of the life of those spark plugs.
It was due for some new ones.
Yeah, it was due for some new ones, and I was like, right, well, we'll pull them out and we'll get them changed out. So I got new spark plugs coming for them as well. We also pulled off the intercooler to get to the spark plugs, and that looks like that's full of oil and grime and everything as well.
Oh, wow.
The air box was full of what looked like corn from a field.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Well, they dried it through a field and stuck it all up in there?
That's what I was wondering, but it looks like that hadn't been changed in a good many years as well. So I'm hoping that when I've finally done a full service on this and we placed it all back together and all the rest of it, that it's actually going to be looking a little bit better and feeling a little better. Yeah, I mean, it's got to have lost loads of power from dead spark plugs, crap oil, a blocked air filter. What else?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, as the woes went on, you know, it just felt like that month was kicking me in the nads square on. and it was pretty pants as I was like pulling through everything. It's like, right, I better get this, better get this, better get this, ticking it off, ticking things off the list at the same time as adding another 10, 15 things more on. But I mean, I've got a fair old shopping list of stuff that I have purchased already, which I've been going through with you. I mean, I've got an electric water pump and a few other bits and pieces, and I finally received a long-awaited package from Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I turned up Wednesday, Thursday last week. Well, no, Monday, Tuesday, wasn't it? It was
Yeah, I
Monday,
think
Tuesday.
so.
I thought it was going to be the week before, but it ended up taking a little bit longer going through customs than I expected. I think it took like 4 days in the end, which encompassed the whole entire weekend. So, and then it all sort of suddenly just had a flurry of emails in one evening saying, "It's come here, it's come here, it's gone there, it's out for delivery now." I'm like,
Thank
yes,
God.
yes, yeah, thank God. So yeah, the fun things that were inside the package were a Link G4 Plus Extreme ECU and a Race Technology Dash 2 Pro. So if you don't know what it is, look it up, or we'll put it in the show notes or a link to the website or whatever. I don't know what I'll throw at Blake for him to put in there. But yeah, there's some. I mean, the Dash is a really, really nice bit of kit and has a lot of features. It just means that I don't have all of these analog dashes for like boost and oil pressure and intake air temperatures and all the rest of that. I can have it all directly on one dash in loads of different formats and all the rest of it. And to be honest, I think that's going to be invaluable, especially when we do it on a dyno day. So I'll have all the intake air temperatures set up. I'll have, I might even fork out for a wideband sensor to stuff in my exhaust so that I can have the air fuel ratios and all the rest of that all to the dash as well at the same time. So if it runs lean or anything like that, I can get the ECU to automatically dump it into a safe mode or something like that so I don't blow up the engine. All these fancy, wonderful things that...
Right. Lose those new spark plugs?
Yeah.
Don't want to foul those new plugs.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that made a bit more of a smile on my face at that point. But as Blake knows, nothing that comes to me stays unmodified for long. And I've already drilled a 10 mil hole in the side of the casing for the ECU and run an extension loom out the side of it to all the ports on the back. I may add that there is actually there are instructions in the Link ECU manual to drill that hole for that expansion cable. So, it's not like I'm messing around with it that I shouldn't do. But I've also got a couple of different things coming for it as well. I've got another CAN bus cable that plugs into it as well. So I can have two CAN bus cables going to the ECU at the same time. So one of them is going to be for my dash, and another one's going to be for the tuning cable so that I can have it tuning whilst the dash is plugged in. I can plug the dash in a couple of different ways, but for ease of use, I'm just going to plug it in that way. I mean, for the point of $10 for a cable or something like that, I think it is. I might as well do it. It'll make it a lot easier. And what else have I got? Trying to think now. I've been buying too many things for all of these things at the moment. I can't remember. I got like a list of so many things that I just sent you. I think on a Facebook message the other week. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I got to do this.
Tell the listeners about how you can, since you got an electric fuel pump or a water pump. I mean, how you'll be able to control the water pump with the ECU. I thought that was pretty fascinating.
So the way that I'm going to set the ECU up to work with the electric fuel pump, dual pump. You got me saying
Nah,
it
you
now.
did it too.
Asshole. So with the electric water pump, I'm going to set it up so the generally what happens on these minis is the off the side of the supercharger, the water pump is basically run. So as soon as you turn on the engine, the water pump is pushing the water around the system, which isn't too bad. I mean, as it stands, it's fairly standard. The problem is that with the connection between the supercharger and the water pump, it breaks down, and what you'll end up doing is it breaks the water pump while you're driving, and then the car overheats because there's nothing going around the system, and boom, your engine goes kablooey. So I'm ditching the water pump completely and going with the electric one and ditching the thermostat. So what I'm going to do is use the ECU to run the electric pump. I think if memory serves, I can't remember the exact details of what I said to you. I think it was it pulses. So when I first start it up, the ECU will pulse the pump for 10 seconds, 10 seconds on and like 20 to 30 seconds off, and then 10 seconds on again, just so that you don't have localized hotspots throughout the engine when it's warming up. Once it gets up to running temperature, it will run for 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off, until it reaches a high temperature, and then it will turn it on full time, but it will either make it go slower or faster, dependent on what the load is of temperature. So it's all going to be run from the ECU, dependent on the state that the ECU sees at the time, just so that it just means that it'll warm up more evenly throughout the engine. It's never going to overheat, and if I have a problem with the water pump, the ECU will see that it doesn't have any voltage on there, and it'll instantly throw the car into limp mode, throw up a massive load of warnings on my brand new dash, and then I can just pull it over to the side and wait to get towed. It's just, for me it looks like a simple solution. Some people it might not be, but I'm hoping to try and make it just a little bit more like user friendly in total.
Yeah. What about the cooling fan? Can you run that, like control that with the ECU too?
Yeah. Everything on this car I can control from the ECU. So the ECU itself is built specifically for the minis, so I don't have to rewire anything. I literally just have to plug in the wires for the ECU from the original ECU into the new Link ECU, and it just does everything. So I mean, I can control the aircon from the ECU if I really wanted to.
All right.
But considering that I'm going to be deleting the aircon out of it, then I can use all of those outputs and inputs for the sensors and stuff like that for other things. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I can control the fan from the ECU and do whatever I need to do with it. To be honest, I'll probably slowly but surely, if I find any issues with any of the sensors and stuff like that, I'll be changing them out and upgrading them as I go along, especially once I start getting especially once I start getting smaller pulleys for the supercharger, because that'll be getting the boost up, so my map sensor is going to end up getting overwhelmed at some point. So I'll probably end up going from, I think it's like a 1.15 bar at the moment to like a 2.5 bar. That way I can get up to like, what's that, 2.5 bar? Was it 30 pounds a boost or something like that?
Yeah.
It's all about the pounds of boost.
That's a little tiny pulley on the front of that supercharger.
Well, yeah, I think the one at the moment that I've got on there is the standard one. I've got another supercharger that I found online, actually, that I bought for cheap, and that's got a 15% reduced pulley on it. And so I'm gonna take off the supercharger that I have on here at the moment and swap it out for the other one. And I've got a blanking plate that I've got to make for the back end of the supercharger so that it keeps the oil in for the bearings and all the rest of it, but means that it's also not connected physically to anything. So that'll be how I delete the water pump. And then I'll use all of my brand new hoses and my nice new radiator and all the rest of it to put it all back in and keep this baby cool. Especially with my new electric water pump, which I'm well happy with at the moment. It looks really nice. It really does.
What kind of lifespan does an electric pump have like that?
Um,
I guess I'm just asking, depending on for what you're going to do with it, and if they make one for the Civic, like for what I would do with it, where I just drive the car around town and stuff. It's not a car I'd be driving every day. I assume you get a lot more life out of it. But if you were to like put this in a car you're going to drive daily, how long do you know about how long a life you'd get out of it?
I mean, it'll have a warranty. I can't remember what the warranty is on it. But with the new technology that we're coming out with, I mean, it's got a brushless motor in it. So,
oh yeah, so there you go.
I don't know what sort of life. I'll tell you what. When we put it in, I will. I'll
we'll
note down
out.
all the mileage. Yeah. Well, my race dash has an odometer in it as well, so I'll get it all set up, and we'll see if the water pump does go. Then I'll write down how many miles I've managed to do on track in anger with it.
So I'm curious. I'd love to have one on the Civic, but the Civic will be on the road, where the Mini will only be on the track. So it's one of those things. If it fails on the Civic, then I have to worry about calling a tow truck, getting the car home, something like that, versus being at the track with a trailer to load it up and get it out of there already. So that's why I'm just curious, how long would one, like with a mechanical pump, they'll last, for some of them, the life of the car, but...
Well, this one, the mechanical pump on this one's still working, and it's done 100,000 miles? So, we'll see. I mean, I don't know how many miles I'm going to manage to get out of it, but it'll be interesting to see what it would be like. I mean, the pump itself is fairly expensive because it's a brushless motor one, and you can change all of the speeds via the current and how it gets pulsed by the ECU and stuff like that. And we'll just have to see, I suppose.
Yeah, I just think it's cool how you can say if the engine is this temperature, then the fan needs to run for this long, and then the pump needs to run for this long. And then I assume it just gets to a point where they would just both run constantly once it was warm enough. But, yeah, I just think that's fascinating that you can set all that up and make all those changes with the ECU like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to putting it all through, because I think what I'm going to end up doing is going through... once I've actually got the ECU in, I'll probably get I'll probably go through a few sessions on YouTube on how to set certain things up and all the rest of it, because I want to set up traction control. You can set up traction control on this thing manually as well as setting off two-step.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Launch control and all the rest of it, yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I'm probably going to have a few tutorials and stuff like that all set up. And once I've figured my head all the way around it and all the rest of it, we'll have some interesting content, I think, on that.
Well, cool. That sounds good, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing how all this works out for you. That way I can make notes and steal some of your ideas if I need to.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, shit. Seriously, man. If the ECU goes the way that I think it will do, then we'll have to knock our heads together and get a Link ECU for your car. I was actually looking it up the other day, and they do them for your car as well as all of the other iterations of it as well. So it will be a straight plug-in to your whatever harness you've got in yours at the moment.
Oh, nice. That's like the Honda thing that I was showing you. It's more or less a board that plugs into the ECU I have now, and I mean it's fully programmable, but I just have to check it out price wise and see what the difference is between the two.
Yeah, I mean, what I pick this one up for. I think the retail price on the Link ECU that I've got at the moment, that's what, 900 and something odd bucks, was it?
Yeah,
I
I
can't
think
remember
so.
anymore. Yeah, so it's expensive, but for what you want to do with it, it's got the scope to be able to do whatever you want, within reason, obviously.
Well, Marcus, you ready to move on with the show? Since
Yep.
we've programmed ECUs and I've changed oil and that's it. Went shopping.
Went shopping, and then gearboxes blew, and
The reason I say shopping because speaking of shopping,
yes, okay.
in the Modology store right now, we haven't mentioned it online on any social media, but our first shirt is available. Finally, it's black. It's got the Modology logo on the chest of it, and I went with the premium shirt, not just the basic ass normal T-shirt. I wanted the premium one, like the softer feeling T-shirts. And but it's up and it's available for $21.99.
Nice. It's always nice to have those sort of premium shirts anyway, because I've had some cheap ones before, and they are pretty bad, so sometimes.
Yeah, mine like were the around the bottom of them that I don't know, like the cuff of the shirt almost. It starts like rolling up sometimes. You have to iron a fucking T-shirt, and I think that's ridiculous.
What's the point in ironing a t-shirt? Seriously.
Exactly.
I thought you bought t-shirts and wore t-shirts not to iron shit.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, we're going to have other designs coming soon, available throughout the year. Not all of them will be permanent. So we will have limited editions that will only be available for a set amount of times, or whichever seasons and stuff like that, or any special events that we deem to do. The money raised will go towards helping us keep fresh content on the channel, and help me put fuel in my race car.
Right. Help me buy turbo parts and ECUs and
Oh,
cameras and. So yeah, mostly all the money raised, we're just going to turn around and put back into the channel anyway. So that's that. But we got some changes coming next year, Marcus. And by next year, I mean in what 15 days,
Yeah.
16 days.
Yeah, 15, 16 days. So we've got under a month to be able to try and turn some of this around. So we're going to have some technological marvels happening.
Oh yeah, one of the first things we're going to do is a website overhaul. It was good to get the website up to have like a home online for Modology Motorsports. But looking at the page now, it's kind of dated, and like just the main like splash page needs some work, and I want to clean some of that stuff up. It's just time for the website to get like a fresh look overall. So around the first quarter of next year, at least by March, I hope to have the website like completely redesigned for us.
Yeah, I think we're going to be knocking our heads together and trying to figure a lot of that shit out over the next couple of days, let alone the next couple of months.
Right.
Yeah. So the podcast will change to a live YouTube video podcast. So you guys should be able to join in with us and comment in real time if you want to. We'll be able to show videos during the podcast instead of just talking about them, which I think is going to help get a little bit more sort of connectivity with you guys. And one thing I would say, though, is that you guys actually just listen to us as just a podcast. Don't worry, we're still going to be pulling all the audio and releasing it in an audio-only version online as well anyway. We're just trying to make sure that we're doing as much as we can out of all of this to make it a little bit more entertaining.
You know what that means, though, Marcus? We'll have to get it right the first time if we're doing it live, especially in video form, because I'm not going to edit shit after that. I'm just going to rip the audio and upload it.
Rip the audio and dump it straight to YouTube.
That's right. So you're going to get the same audio as the video version. We'll keep all those on the YouTube channel. They'll just go from being just the audio with a still picture to the actual video version. So if you get a chance to like join us during, by all means, we'll have the chat open if you want to jump in and talk with us, or if you want to catch it after the fact, it'll still be up on the channel.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, we could even have it so that at certain points in the show that we can open it up to people's questions and stuff like that as well.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, no problem. One of the other things I want to do this coming year is get some more content up. First year was our test year, and it's coming to a close. And the videos were kind of sparse this first year. But, we had just life stuff going on. I had some stuff with my kids that I had to take care of. You got married.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at the moment, most of the sparseness is due to me. All of the promises that I've made for getting content out, and then there's so many videos that are left on my laptop at the moment unfinished. It's unreal. And then with crashing video cards and stuff like that in cameras, and then me having to put things together, I've just I think I got stressed with it and then just put it all to one side whilst I was doing stuff. And yeah, I apologize profusely, Blake. I've been leaving it up to you mainly to get everything done.
No, that's fine. That's why I fall back on things like the dash cam videos, because it was easy. It was just clipping, saving the good ones and clipping them together and putting those up. And then it's like, I tried to plan ahead during the summer. I was like, I know it's going to get cold. It just got over being cold when we started the channel. I was like, I'll save some stuff and have it, ready to put up. Yeah, I didn't save shit. So
you didn't save shit. I didn't save shit. We're just winging it.
Yeah, I did talk to my boss about being able to record some stuff at work. That way I can do it inside there. But even then, I'm limited to, I have to have it finished within my lunch break so I can drive the car home. So it won't be anything like big or anything that's going to disable the vehicle to where I can't drive it. But at least that way it gives me a chance to still be able to record something and put something up. So there at least will be that while it's still cold out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, this coming year anyway will hopefully be the unveiling of the Mini in its final form. At the moment it was a Squirtle, and now it's sort of like I can't remember what the War Toys or whatever it is. I can't remember Pokemon for shit. Not that it really helps. No, I'm a big child at heart. But yeah, I think what really I'm trying to say is that with all of the stuff that's been going on in the background on the Mini, I'm hoping that this coming year is going to be where I drop the Mini on track and actually get some really nice shots and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be a neat setup you're going to have with the GoPro cameras.
Yeah. I mean, Blake knows what I've been chatting about. I haven't really said a massive amount on here about how I'm going to be setting up all the cameras and stuff like that. So you've seen a little bit of some of the angles that I'm looking at and all the rest of it on the Caterham video that I haven't actually released yet, that I was just remembering. Hang on a minute. I know Blake's seen some of it, but that was when I was struggling with trying to link all the cameras together so that they played at the same time at the correct frame rate. Now that I've got that sorted, I can have a proper play around and start getting more cameras and stuff like that sorted, as well as a few things like drone footage that I've been playing around with. There's a little bit of footage that I haven't even shown you yet, Blake, that should be interesting. So
that's cool. I'm looking forward to it. Well, Marcus, this is the last episode of the year, so it's time for our YouTube 2018 yearly recap. This is for our launch year. I'd like to do this every year on the last episode of the season. And first we'll take a look at the time of this recording, in case anything else goes up, in case I can squeeze anything else in before the end of the month. At the time of this recording, we've uploaded 42 videos this year.
Wow.
So we just said it wasn't a lot, but...
Thinking about it.
Yeah, 42, but it was 3 dash cam videos, 5 vlogs, 7 general repair and maintenance videos, but then 11 of the videos were the podcast.
Yeah.
So that was, what, that puts us 31 that were actual real videos?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's 31 videos, 29 of which you did. I think. Oh, no, I think I might have done three videos, maybe.
Something like that.
Something like that, 3. So, a measly amount, but yeah. So the top 5 videos by watch this year at this time of recording. So at number 5, the auto drive dash cam review. That's got 10,395 minutes.
That's a lot of
pretty,
watching.
That's a lot of watching, yeah. At number 4, which doesn't surprise me, the Caterham ride along and dyno test that I did. That came up at 18,594 minutes, which isn't actually half bad looking at it, considering how poorly I shot that.
Well, that was our first one to like catch fire too. The first video to really take off.
Yeah, I mean that flew through like at the beginning, and it's been fairly solidly at 5th place, I think, actually each month.
Oh yeah,
right at the bottom, just slowly ticking away. So, I can't complain. In number 3, or in 3rd place, the Honda Civic brake master cylinder replacement at 22,432 minutes. That's just ridiculous. Thing is, I don't think that one ever really exploded, but it's just been sat there ticking away consistently.
Yeah, it's like that one has one of the higher like completion rates, like the most viewed of the video, where people are watching like the majority of that one. So yeah, it's getting some eyeballs on it.
Yeah, which is always helpful. In 2nd place, unsurprisingly, the Honda Accord cylinder head removal at 32,177 minutes.
I think if we would have done this podcast the last day of the month, I almost want to say that the way that video has gone so far, that one may have been number 1 by the end of the month.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't surprise me.
That one has done like crazy good.
But anywhere near as good as the 1st place, which is the Ford Focus radiator replacement. A staggering 47,617 minutes.
Wow. We say it every time, so let's say it again. That's a lot of bad radiators.
That is a lot of Ford Focuses falling by the side of the road.
Jesus Christ.
In a pile of radiator fluid. So, channel-wide across all the videos, we had a grand total of 148,793 minutes as of this recording. So, I mean, I never really thought that we would get anywhere near that, let alone our 100 subs goal that we went for. So, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm ecstatic with all of these numbers at the moment anyway. I mean, we really have to ramp it up to be able to get the sweet YouTube money. But, we'll see. Maybe next year will come another massive boost in numbers and minutes viewed, and hopefully a massive boost in the amount of videos that we put up as well. Yeah. And hopefully in my case, a staggering amount of videos that I can actually put up, more than 2. So, I mean, thinking about it, I mean, if I did the same amount of videos as you did, then we would be rolling in at about 100 videos, roughly.
Yeah.
So, I need to pull my finger out. But yeah.
All right, our top 3 traffic sources, meaning where did these views come from? Number 3 was the suggested videos, which is views from appearing alongside or after other videos. So when you're watching a video on YouTube and there's that list on the right-hand side, people were clicking on ours on the right-hand bar, which that right-hand bar can take you to some strange places sometimes. So it took them to Modology for one, but it can take you some weird shit sometimes.
I know. I've been sat there on a Friday night drinking a can of beer or something like that, and clicking on videos that show up on the right hand side, and it takes you some weird ass places.
And it's also the ones like when a video ends and it's like suggested videos pop up, and so we were some of those too. So that's pretty cool. The number 2 traffic source was external, like Facebook, Twitter. And then anywhere outside of YouTube where the video is either linked or embedded. So if you watch it somewhere that's embedded or linked, once you click that, it's counting as a view on YouTube as well. So That was number 2. And then number 1 is the good old tried and true, just regular YouTube search. Taking it home is the top traffic source for 2018.
Which is good. I mean, it actually means they're either searching specifically for us. I mean, we really need to look at what the search terms that some of the people use in, but
Yeah.
I think probably everyone was just like typing in for replacement radiators and stuff like that.
So, what, a cord cylinder head and focus radiator? And
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that's quite telling anyway, that the number one thing is that people are actually searching for either our content or our name, which is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So the next section up is likes versus dislikes. So we've had 250 likes versus 34 dislikes. The most liked video was the Honda Accord cylinder head removal at 44 likes, which I quite like that. I mean, the fact is, I mean, that wasn't too bad. I mean, we've had quite a lot of people chatting on that and discussing it. I think that's gone down quite well with the Honda Accord community by the looks of it.
Yeah, I had that one guy telling me everything I did wrong, but, that's to be expected.
Yeah, but didn't you at the beginning of the video say you know nothing about how to do these, so you're just going to wing it and get your way through it? And it's like, he took it seriously.
I said, look,
way too seriously.
There's probably 100 ways to do this. This is how I'm going to do it. So
exactly. So the most disliked video was the Caterham.
Oh,
the
no.
Caterham video, with 14 dislikes. So fair enough.
It was all people that work for Caterham.
Blatantly. So all 14 of them.
Yeah.
But it's worth to mention that the Caterham video did receive 12 likes. So
see, not
12
as bad.
likes versus 14 dislikes. It's not too bad.
And
I'll take that.
From what I understand, I don't think the likes do anything to our videos per se. I think it just changes like the algorithm of when you search for a video, like what you'll see. I think that's all the thumbs up and thumbs down do. I mean, a lot of thumbs up look good. I'll take it, but I think all it changes is on the viewer level, not on the actual video level.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not 100% sure. YouTube's a mystery with the way they do shit sometimes.
It is. I just love in the fact that as soon as we hit 100 subs, that suddenly, like, our YouTube channel just exploded.
Yeah, definitely. It's like something changed, and it was where we were getting maybe a sub or two a week, or a month, really. It was jumped up to like 1 or 2 or 3 a week after that. Yeah,
I mean, at one point we were having like a couple a day, and I was like, Blake!
Yeah, this is crazy. What the hell is going on?
Crazy. Yeah, it's just the fact. What you don't realize is that every single time a sub hits, it's either Blake or myself will message each other going, "We've got another one!"
Yeah.
We're just generally that excited about it. It's ridiculous.
So if you sub to the channel, know that your sub got celebrated between me and Marcus, because we message each other to let each other know we got at least one more sub when it happens. So
yeah, we celebrate all your subs.
Let's see. All right, now let's look at the most comments on the videos. Did we do comment? No, we did likes, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right, most comments on the videos. In third place with 6 comments was the auto drive dash cam review. The Focus radiator and the Accord cylinder head both tied in second place with 7 comments. And then the Caterham was number 1 with 8 comments. Although, now I'm thinking about that Accord video. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't 8. I think it was some replies, too. That's why I didn't count it. I was replying to some of it.
Yeah.
So
I think we looked at just like the original singular comments rather than us replying and then replying to us and stuff like that. But yeah. It looks pretty... I mean, that's pretty stout, to be honest. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, considering that, we're in our first year, we know jack shit about anything, it seems. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. And, it's not done too bad so far. So as a general wrap for 2018, we've had 159 subs.
Boom.
For our first year, and 36,700 views.
Nice work, Marcus.
Yeah, nice work, Blake. You've done most of the video content, so yeah.
It's not a bad first year, buddy.
No, I think we've done pretty damn well, to be perfectly honest, and I'm really happy with how it's gone so far.
Oh yeah.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, we couldn't really ask for much more than what we've got, to be honest. I mean, 159 subs is ridiculous, considering we were aiming for 100. So we've gone 59 over what we wanted. So, I'm happy. Now all we need to do is get our 1,000 subs and, was it 500,000 minutes or something like that?
240,000 minutes
right.
within a year. So we got, but if you go back and look at our minutes viewed, we got over halfway to that this year.
Yeah, I think, what was that, 140 something odd thousand?
Yeah, something like that.
Let
me see.
Scroll. I can see
148,793. We needed 240,000 to be monetized. So we got over halfway.
1,000 subs.
And 1,000 subs, but
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. We need to do a push on 1,000.
Yeah, next year. We'll have it by December.
December next year, 1,000 subs, and we're monetized.
That's right. God, that'd be a nice Christmas present, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be a nice Christmas present.
All right. So not bad this year, Marcus. Let's get ready to wrap this thing up. There are shirts available and stickers still available on the website. So modologymotorsports.com, and click the store tab at the top. Get yourself a nice T-shirt to help support the show. And after this goes up, I'll take probably after we record this at least, I'll start making it known on social media that the T-shirts are now available. So check those out. And if you got an email you want to write in and tell us how wonderful we did this year, you can send that to modologymotorsports@gmail.com.
You can also catch us at Modology Motors on Twitter.
We got a Facebook group. I post a lot of shit in there, a lot of import cars. So if you're into that, come check it out. If you're not into that, then you should also come and, post some other stuff. So if you want to hit us up on Twitter, our personal Twitters, I'm at Hesser414.
And I'm at Brunt_Marcus.
And Marcus, buddy, thank you for this wonderful year. This year it's been really cool working with you. And I'm looking forward to season 2.
Well, I mean, I didn't even think that from the point of me, jokingly saying that we should start a podcast about motorsports and stuff like that we would actually sit here a year later and actually be going through all of this.
Yeah, closing out season 1. That's crazy.
Closing out season 1, yeah. It is crazy.
Well, all right, everybody. Look for us in January for season 2 to start with the video version. Try to catch us on live on YouTube if you can. If not, the video will be up for you to watch later, and the audio version will also be up shortly after that. But we'll look forward to seeing you next year in 2019 on season 2. And we'll talk to you later, everybody.
Cheers. See you guys.
With the best, you fucking with the facts. Yeah. I don't even know what else to say. Let that 808 right out though. Yeah.